This would have done a lot better if they, had a strong male along with her, a prince, if it wasn't about socialism, if they didn't remove the dwarves, if they had real dwarves.
Picture this. A classic fairy tale everyone loves suddenly becomes Hollywood's most unexpected controversy. At first, Disney's live-action Snow White looked like a standard remake. But rumors of disastrous test screenings, last-minute rewrites, and behind-the-scenes tension quickly took center stage. Now, everyone wants to know, how did this project go from a beloved children's story to an industry-wide cautionary tale? When Rachel Zgler was cast as Snow White, reactions ranged from thrilled to worried. Optimistic fans believed this would be Disney's next big success, while skeptics questioned how faithfully the 1937 classic would be honored. Soon after, Peter Dinklage voiced concerns about potentially stereotypical portrayals of the Seven Dwarfs.
They're remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs, okay?
Okay, but what do they call them?
Why
now,
would they
too?
get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures.
Instead of addressing these issues calmly, Disney allegedly rushed to reassure critics, and in the process, upended its own production. Word of multiple script revisions filtered out, hinting that the story was caught between honoring the original and delivering a modern twist.
You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image.
Scenes that aimed for whimsy veered into heavy-handed territory, and moments meant to highlight inclusivity clashed with the fairy tale's timeless essence. Worse yet, test screenings were lukewarm, with viewers criticizing the film's jarring shifts in style and theme. Whispers of a Snow White disaster started circulating long before the movie even reached theaters. Then came talk that Rachel Zgler herself felt trapped by the chaos.
Argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there.
Allegedly, she grew frustrated with the ongoing debate, particularly over how Dinklage's critique led to abrupt mid-production changes. Whether this tension is real or just another internet rumor, it spurred a wave of speculation that Zgler blamed him for stirring the pot.
Rachel Zgler is supposed to play Snow White. She's Latina. It says, literally no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback that they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Meanwhile, some fans pointed out that Disney's uncertain response to valid concerns had overshadowed Zgler's own performance. As the media frenzy intensified, whispers of an alternate Snow White adaptation began popping up, this time with Jenna Ortega as a rumored lead. If Disney had faith in its original project, why would a second version even be in discussion? Some speculated that the studio was simply bracing for failure, anticipating the negative impact of a film already being labeled a fiasco. Others believed that fan backlash prompted Disney to explore fresh ideas free from the baggage of Dinklage's criticism. In its rush to avoid stereotypes, the production left many small-statured actors feeling sidelined.
It's this weird thing where he's saying, like, oh, it's bad that we're still doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, so he doesn't necessarily want that. But as little people actors, it's like, well, we kind of want to work.
Some argued that removing the dwarfs entirely was a misguided attempt at wokeness, robbing actors of roles they've historically relied upon.
Or can we just say midgie?
Okay.
Midget, dwarf, they're out of work. They're replaced by CGI things.
Yes.
Like, this is just a perfect
Imagine
example.
that.
When there's
Thing 1 and thing 12.
there's no guiding principle, just progress for the sake of progress, and you're just trying to weave around offense after.
The blowback highlighted Hollywood's broader struggle. How do you modernize a classic without losing what made it special in the first place? As the release date crept closer, the focus shifted from fairy tale magic to studio drama. Critics tore into the film's conflicting tones, confused messages, and uneven pacing. Fans who once supported the remake felt alienated.
With Snow White, let's go through this, right? There's no prince. Woman doesn't need a prince.
Oh, Lord.
Really? Okay, good
Shut
luck
up.
back then.
And those who doubted it from the start seemed almost vindicated by the messy end product. Blame bounced from Dinklage to Disney, from scriptwriters to Zgler, with no single factor emerging as the definitive root cause. Ultimately, The Snow White disaster became a cautionary tale about trying to blend modern sensibilities with old-school charm too hastily. Successful remakes can balance these elements without overshadowing the heart of the story.
It doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
When corporate panic sets in, however, authenticity often falls by the wayside. Despite the noble intentions of updating outdated depictions, the film's approach felt clumsy and incomplete. Whether Rachel Zgler truly faults Peter Dinklage for triggering the avalanche remains an open question. Yet, their rumored clash reveals how a single comment in the public arena can disrupt an entire production.
And I get it, there's a difference between spoiling and whatever, but to go out and badmouth everybody and talk smack about, older movies in the same franchise, the canon story, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like they would have had better control over that.
Perhaps the real lesson is that tackling a treasured classic requires both forethought and genuine conversation with all parties involved.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
When a film lurches between two extremes, devotion to nostalgia and aggressive modernizing, it risks pleasing no one. Disney may already be looking beyond this chapter, eyeing new adaptations or sequels that sidestep controversy. Fans, meanwhile, are left to wonder if future attempts at revamping Snow White can learn from these mistakes. Time will tell if this cautionary tale marks a turning point in how Hollywood approaches cherished stories. One thing is certain: no amount of brand recognition can save a film that forgets its own heart.
I think it was good. I don't
the
know.
sizzle.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything. We're still waiting.
You see yourself as the evil queen. You are not evil. You are not evil. You're a queen, but you're not evil. What was it like seeing yourself as the evil queen for the first time?
We did not see the clip, so I still haven't seen anything. But when I was in makeup, just like she said, we got to work with such an amazing crew, and it was just like the best it could ever be.
And in the case of Snow White, it's clear that even the fairest of them all can stumble if the guiding vision is lost along the way. Audiences often forget that controversy on this scale doesn't just affect the leading actors. It cascades through the entire cast and crew. Production designers, costume makers, and visual effects teams are forced to scramble each time a major creative decision changes. For Snow White, that meant endless adjustments to fit shifting guidelines and evolving social sensitivities. In many ways, the film became a case study in why Hollywood needs a more cohesive plan before announcing grand modernizations. Without it, even the most beloved stories risk fracturing under the weight of too many good intentions, and even more conflicting opinions.